Hi, and welcome to a special feature on data insurance. What's data insurance all about? Well, you take the recent British Airways disaster where all their services were lost. It could have been worse. They could have lost all of the data. At least they were able to bring it back. What happens in instances where you can't get the data back? Well, here to help me find out, we're going to have a special guest, Mark Saville, Managing Director of Data to Vault. Mark, before we go through data insurance, perhaps give our viewers a little bit of background about yourself and what Data to Vault does.
Hi John, good to see you again. So my name's Mark Saville. I'm a director of a company called Data to Vault. We're a UK-based service provider. We've been in the data protection, cloud backup and disaster recovery market now for about 10 years, I have in total. The company was formed about 2 years ago, and we formed it as a result of a product that we'd helped develop, which was an insured data environment that would allow insurance companies to underwrite a data insurance product, and that product is now in the market.
Give us a little bit of history about where data insurance evolved from and how it works.
Well, increasingly data has become viewed as a unique asset for organisations. More and more people are starting to understand, with the likes of organisations like Uber, that actually own no physical assets, they employ no people, they have no cars, that actually their businesses are completely a data-oriented business. If you look at a lot of the financial services organisations, a lot of it is data. You look at the online retailers, a lot of their business valuations are based on the data that they carry. If we look at emerging regulations that are coming to the market like GDPR, it's all about safeguarding certain types of data. Even people like Gartner are encouraging people to look at how they value their data and have done some work in that area. So data is unique for an organisation. It's an asset. It doesn't currently sit on the balance sheets for organisations, but it is absolutely critical for their business operations. And this product, which has been underwritten by Allianz, so it has a very substantial global underwriter behind it, has been released in the UK for the UK and Crown dependencies. And we have built a way of mitigating the risk of permanent data loss through this environment that has very, very high recovery rates. Recovery rates that pretty much provide an actuarial record level of how their data could be protected.
Let's talk about real life, how it would work. Is this something that would just benefit private sector, or can it also benefit public sector as well?
So there's no restrictions from the insurer's point of view. Typically the policies are available today providing cover from 1 million up to £5 million, with an extension to 15 million currently. It's expected that the policy indemnities will be available below that number and above it, but at this initial phase, having just released the product, we have a range of 1 to 15 million pounds. The valuation is based on a fair agreed value between the client whose data they want to insure and Allianz as the underwriter. So we see that this policy is typically going to appeal to organisations that probably turn over between 3 million and 150 million. They can be public, private sector or third sector. And the only requirement on them is that they identify their critical data and that we capture that data into our insured data environment.
And what do you think really is the key innovation about this offering?
I would say one of the things, John, for people to be able to relate to it, it's kind of similar to the telemetrics boxes that get installed in the cars of young drivers to help reduce their premiums. The insured data environment acts as a risk control. If you look at cyber policies today, there's little or no risk control applied. We have the ability with very, very high success rates to be able to get the data back, which would be good for the client and also means that the insurance company wouldn't have to pay out. The innovation is that, that the insurer doesn't really define how the data could be lost. And studies that we've seen from organisations like IBM and others kind of state that human factors play a part in about 80% of most data breaches and data loss. So that's, it could be accidental or it could be malicious, but the human factor element isn't really something that in many cases technology, cyber technology, information security technology can prevent happening. So from the insurer's point of view, they just understand that if we've captured the data into our insured data environment, the data's been defined and a fair agreed value has been assessed, and that the policy is being paid, how the client comes to lose their data, be it ransomware through malicious attack at one end, or just some accidental deletion or a database upgrade that's failed at the other end, that they'll be protected through this policy.
Would this type of insurance only work when you've got a data center, or does it work in a situation where all of your computing is distributed?
Providing we can collect the data, it doesn't matter whether that data sits in a private environment, in an NHS trust, whether it sits in a cloud environment like Office 365, or whether a customer has hosted their servers in a UK or foreign data center. Providing we can collect that data securely and reliably, it can be insured under a data insurance product.
One of the big corporate issues of the day is GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. Is there a benefit or connection between data insurance and GDPR?
Very interesting question. We're seeing increasing interest in data insurance as a way of mitigating the residual risk of permanent data loss, especially around personal information, sensitive personal information. The underlying insured data environment that we use to protect the data for data insurance is a FIPS 140-2 certified technology. And if you take a look at the Information Commissioner's website, you'll see that they're recommending FIPS 140-2 software solutions as being the optimal technology that should be used if you had to select some encryption technologies. So all of the backup data that we collect is encrypted. It's encrypted before transit, in transit, and when it's stored off-site. Like I say, FIPS certification coupled with the data insurance policy provides a very strong way of protecting the risk of permanent data loss.
So Mark, thanks very much for that. That was a really good overview of what is now a new critical service offering. So if you feel in your organisation you may one day need that sort of backup, take a look at the information that's posted around this video. That's all for now, and remember, together, online will make the world a safer place. Bye for now.